I'm Mark Halley in Mr. Saltwater Tank, and this is Mr. Saltwater Tank TV. It's been a while since I posted a new Mr. Saltwater Tank TV episode, 5 months, and it's been a little bit longer since I posted an update on my 448-gallon reef tank, 17 months. So to bring you up to speed on what's been going on, that's what this show is about. Whoa, 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 buddy, not so fast. You think you're going to disappear off YouTube for 5 months and then not explain yourself? I don't think so. Where have I been? I've been traveling a lot. I've been building new tanks, building some more new tanks, tearing down existing client tanks, building those same clients new tanks, giving speaking engagements, helping clients pick and obtain dream fish, traveling to new builds for initial consults. I've been gone a lot. I'm home about 10 days a month, which doesn't leave me a lot of time to make a Mr. Saltwater Tank TV show. Now, I know you all want to see more of me, so you can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook for quicker updates, and expect Mr. Saltwater Tank TV to change a little bit. Shorter material, quicker stuff, because I know that you guys want to see it. Now, back to the show. For those of you who have been following me long enough, you're probably wondering, where's Bart? Well, Bart got old and he passed away last fall. I certainly miss the little guy, but I'm glad he's in a place where he's no longer in pain. And to take his place, I bring you Bo. Bo is a Boston Terrier mix. We think he's a rescue. Who knows? We love him anyway. He's taking over in Bart's footsteps. Good boy, Bo. And for those of you that know me as well, you're wondering where's Sailor. She's down here getting pets because she's an insecure dog that needs social cues. So that's what's happening on the non-fish side of the Mr. Saltwater Tank life. Now let's talk about the reef tank. Sorry, Bo, they're not interested in dogs. This is a fish show. You'll fit right in, buddy. It's okay. My tank is 96 inches long, 36 inches wide, and 30 inches tall. That comes out to about 448 gallons of water volume. Water gets into the filtration to the 20-inch Synergy overflow box. My sump is made by MRC America, and it's one of their industrial models. Dimensions are 48 inches long, 24 inches wide, and 30 inches tall. I have a Bubble King Supermarine 200 protein skimmer, and GFO and carbon are run in separate reactors. That's it for filtration. I use quality gear and I keep my filtration simple and it works for me. There's been 2 changes in my fish room. One of them is this tank right here. Now this was supposed to be a refugium, but instead it's acting as a coral holding tank right now because I'm holding on to corals for clients while I'm building out their systems. Now the real gem of it at the moment is this big hammer coral that's in here. This piece is over 20 years old. The client got it when it was about the size of his palm. Right now, it's about 24 inches across. Why the macroalgae in the hammer coral? Well, when the hammer was in a client's tank, it was partially shaded by a monty cap. That part of the hammer coral died, and once it moved into here, this macroalgae popped up in it. I'll remove it when I take it back to the client. For now, that's about all the refugium that I'm getting out of this tank. I've also added this small frag tank where I'm keeping some clippings out of my big tank as well as some smaller pieces from clients' tanks. After visiting Worldwide Corals and talking to them about internal flow in their tanks, and after seeing my SPS take off, I decided I needed to add more flow to my tank. I added 2 more Ecotech Marine MP60s and 2 MP40s. On the overflow side of the tank, I have 2 MP60s and 2 MP40s. The far end of the tank gets 2 MP60s. Flow is one part of coral growth and lighting is the other. My tank is powered by 6 Ecotech Marine G4 Radeon Pros running the Coral Lab AV Plus program. You can find that program inside of EcoSmart Live under Schedule Options, then click Load from Template, then select Coral Lab, and then the sub-template AV Plus. I run my Radeons at 90% intensity, which is a lot higher than I recommend for most people. For most tanks, I like to keep it in the 50 to 60% range. With my tank, I was kind of bored with things. I decided I would fiddle around and start raising the intensity of my lights. Now I did this very slowly. Every 2 weeks, I raise the intensity of my Radeons 5%. Then I watch for any negative feedback from my tank. Wanted to see if there's any bleaching or any loss of coral color. I didn't see any of those, so I kept going until I got to 95% intensity. At that point, I felt like the coral's color started to get a little washed out, so I backed off back to 90%, and since then I've kept it right there. The corals have been happy, they've been growing well, the colors are great, so I just let it ride. We've talked about outside the tank, now let's talk about what's inside. Coral, coral, and more coral. Mostly SPS, and I've got some LPS and zoas in there too. Plus a really big sea bay anemone that hosts a pair of blacker ice clownfish from PORITES that are now spawning. In the sea bay anemone lives this porcelain crab who's always looking for a snack. Back to the coral, here's a look around my tank, including some growth shots. Since the colonies are getting big, they're starting to touch and fight. Overall, I let nature play out, as I don't want to constantly be pruning my tank. I've got a couple of new fish additions, a male-female pair of spot breast, also known as Japanese swallowtail angelfish, a harlequin tusk. Wait, seriously? A tusk in a reef tank? Is that safe? Absolutely. This guy won't touch coral, and he only eats cleanup crew members when he doesn't get fed for 2 days. 11 barrier reef chromis, also from Australia. These guys aren't prone to killing each other off like the blue-green chromis, and I love watching them school in my tank. Overall, I'm pleased on how my tank is maturing, and now I'm left with the problem of what coral colonies do I want to remove. Some of these pieces just aren't the apple of my eye anymore. They're pretty and all, but for me, I'm just kind of bored with them. I don't know what I'm going to remove, but that sounds like a great problem to answer on Fragging on a Friday night. I'm Mark Callahan, Mr. Saltwater Tank. This has been Mr. Saltwater Tank TV. Till next time, have a good one, enjoy your tanks, and know your tank personality. Which one of you boys wants to go? I'm looking for volunteers.